of your money blueprint. Oh my goodness, what a journey it has been thus far. I was just sharing with all of our amazing women here live in the Zoom room that I woke up a little bit tired this morning, and it suddenly hit me that I used to run these workshops and challenges, and I used to do them for 5 days. Actually, do you know what? In the very beginning, 6 and 7 years ago, I'm pretty sure I used to do 7-day challenges, and I would show up every single day for 7 days consecutively and hold all of that space for the container. And so it's just a great acknowledgement of the journey. And so one of my biggest blocks, and we've talked about that, has been you have to work really, really hard for money. And you know, I still have that. That's been programmed, but I'm getting better at releasing that. And you can see the reflection in this week. I only decided to do 3 days of this, right? And in the past, it was 7 days, right? You know, and I never used to make any money from these for years because I didn't know how. I didn't actually know how to monetize it. But it didn't matter. I still showed up and I did what I love. But, you know, in the beginning, they were 7 days. And so, you know, I have been able to work through that, and it's getting better all the time, but it's still there. And, you know, we talked about the relationship that my father had with money and probably still has to this day, where, you know, he would work so hard in the factory season that I can remember many a time that, you know, he literally was running, you know, towards his lunchbox as he would run in the door home from work, and he would be vomiting because he was unwell because of the amount of work that he was doing. You know, his body was tired. It was almost like self-abuse in a way, like he really worked himself and pushed himself so hard. So a lot's come through for all of you over the last couple of days, just thus far. And I mean, like, I've got so much to share with you all today. You can't see the desk here, but it is literally loaded up with everything that I want to share with you. And that's why my programs are all 12 months. We've got 3 different programs. We've got our frequency coding self-mastery program, Soul Circle, where we dive really deep and we do the frequency coding, we do the belief work, we do all the things, the inner child healing, everything happens within that program. And then we've got our business programs, and these programs are 12 months because it is just such a journey, and there's so much to be integrated. There's so much to be learnt. But the most powerful key part of all of this really is that we have to get out of our left-sided brain of thinking. That we've all been programmed in that left side brain, which is our logical thinking brain, and we must anchor ourselves in the right side of our brain, which is quantum, which is the side of our brain that is creative, and it is the side of our brain that is connected into quantum. And then what we want to work towards having established is the neurological pathways, where most of the time we're directly working with the right side of our brain, which is the creator or manager of all things. And the right side of our brain actually tells the left side of our brain what to do. It's not the other way around. And I was just having a conversation with a beautiful woman who is actually in air, which is an hour from here, and she is participating in this masterclass series. I just love the fact that I get to communicate and connect and build relationships with people all over the world. And lo and behold, here was Amy last night, and she was such a beautiful soul. We had such a deep connection. And I said to her, "Where are you located?" She said, "Well, I'm just in air." And I'm like, holy crap, that's amazing. And we were talking about this very thing. We were talking about the overloaded, you know, left sides of brains right now. Everyone is like so overloaded with, there is huge amounts of information, you know, and it's just all too much. And I mean, a huge objective. It's really interesting because I really can see what's going out there in the marketplace. And I get, I'm so blessed that I get, I get a real inner view of really what's going on with women and what's going on in their lives, because they share with me, right? They're like open books. They, we go into Messenger and they share. And so what really has been coming up a lot in the last couple of years, and especially in the last 12 months, is women, their objective to joining this masterclass series, for example, is because they're overloaded in that side of their brain. What they don't realize is that this program is this whole masterclass series. Yep, there's a lot of information there. Yes, I'm sharing a lot with you, but it is actually to get you out of that side of your brain. It's to actually speak to the ancient parts of you. It's actually to start to awaken you to the power of your true self. And so this is really something good to know, that this is what women are really looking for, is that they're seeking some access to spaciousness. So when we're actually, for those of us that are in business, when we're thinking about the things that we want to create, just remember what I've shared, that information, it is the time of information, and women are absolutely up to here with it. They are overloaded, overwhelmed, and they have been watching and, learning 1,000 webinars about the strategy and the how-to, and it's all there, and they're trying to figure it out, and they're engaging in the figuring it out, and they're completely full. And then they're not manifesting what it is that they want, because that side of the brain is just so overloaded. So one of the key parts of wealth creation is having times of spaciousness. Dina, yes, this is why I love my Dr. Joe Dispenza meditations. Abso-frigging-lutely. Yeah. We've got to give ourselves these times. That's why I've booked in for, a massage on Saturday morning and a float tank on Sunday afternoon. And I will probably go ice skating. Maybe that might be overdoing it. I may go ice skating, because what am I going to be doing in all of those things? I'm going to be in the moment. I'm going to be, relaxing, obviously, with the two things. And then with the ice skating, like, I love ice skating. It takes me back into my childhood. I feel like a silly kid again. Like, I just feel all giddy, like, and excited, and so that gives me, what that provides to me is such a different energy, where I'm not in that side of my brain. I'm actually present, and I'm in such a great energy. And so we always want to make sure that we've got things booked in our weeks and our days and our months and our years that are uplifting, that we can look forward to. We, over the last 4 years, we go on a beach holiday every single December. Now, we weren't always able to do that because my husband was in defense and he wasn't allowed to leave pretty much the area every Christmas, because we'd always be high alert cyclone season. And so they like to keep a huge amount of the army within radius of the area, so that if I had to go, somewhere off the coast to help with a cyclone, so we were never able to really go away on holidays. And it was always my wish and my desire to have a holiday every December where my family would traditionally go to the same place, because I like traditional things in a family. I think those traditional things are wonderful, because we know that some of the most beautiful things that we remember from our childhood is that camping holiday that we used to go on every year, or that ritual, how we used to do, a Sunday morning breakfast, most Sunday mornings, just those traditions in families are incredibly important. And so I made the decision that I didn't know how we were going to have a December holiday oceanside, but I just decided that we would. And I mean, my husband was in the defense then, and I had no freaking idea how that was going to come to be, but it was so important to me. I wanted it with all of my heart and soul. My desire for that was absolutely off the charts. And so I said yes to it. I said, I've got no freaking idea right now. It doesn't look like what's physically showing up that it would be possible at all. But I'd already learned a lot about the laws of the universe, and physical evidence doesn't mean diddly squat. What's currently showing up in our physical life experience doesn't mean diddly squat, because we can shift it all, we can change it all just through the power of our thoughts and our own will. Do you all know that our wills literally is strong enough to actually bring in that what we want? We are so incredibly powerful. And I want to remind you all of that. It was the same with moving to Townsville for us. I hated the area in which I lived. I always did not like the area in which I grew up. I felt disconnected from the area. I grew up feeling like I don't belong here in this area. I want to live somewhere that I love. I want to live somewhere where I look at the nature and I'm like, I love this place. And I walk in the nature and I'm in love with the land and I feel a connection, and I never felt a connection with where I grew up. And so when I really started to work with the laws of the universe and I had my awakening and I started a spiritual group in my home every Monday evening, it was called Magical Mondays with Jess. And I had one person come and join in the beginning, one woman that wanted to learn it all. And she hung off every word that I said. And so I said to her, how about I start a special group and it'll be Monday nights, and come to my home and let's do all this stuff. And do you know what? That group, it grew to 10 women. It grew to 15 women. It grew to 20 women. And then we barely could fit in my tiny little lounge room that we lived in, this little weatherboard house, in country Victoria. And the women came every Monday night and we did dream boards creations. I brought in guest speakers from the town and from other surrounding towns. And I had to drive them out, at midnight on a Monday night. I had to actually say to them, you have to go home because I can't get through the week. It's wonderful. And we all just wanted to talk, and it was so frigging amazing. And so, this really is how it got started. And I can't remember what I was sharing to begin with. I've lost that thread, but we just want to remember how frigging powerful we are. That's right. That's when I absolutely decided that I was leaving country Victoria, and I had no shred of evidence that could be true for me. My husband was working at Bega Cheese. He hadn't even thought about joining the Australian Army. And I was working a few days a week as a nurse, and there was absolutely not a shred of evidence. There was nothing. There was no money in the bank to move. There was no physical evidence that at all would back up and support the potentiality of moving to another place. And I didn't even know where that place was. But guess what? I found a place that I liked the look of, and I felt a connection with it, and I stuck it on my dream board when we were doing the dream board creation with Magical Mondays with Jess. And it was a couple of years later that we moved. I actually met a woman when we moved, because we were in country Victoria, we were in Shepparton, and then we moved to Numurkah. And this woman, she was my best friend for the 3 years that we were there. But when she came into my life experience, I said to her straight away, I said, I won't be here for long. I'd already made up my mind. I said to her, I won't be here for long. I'm only here temporarily, because I had made up my mind. Now, there was no shred of evidence. No shred of evidence that would maybe it be proof for the potentiality of moving. So I'm staying here because I want you to see how powerful you all are, And so because I decided and I made the decision, the universe started to work with me with the how. The way was shown, but we've got to decide. We've got to get out of our comfort zones, and we've got to really realize that physical evidence, it just doesn't mean diddly squat. And that we are so powerful that we can make a decision about something, go all in on it, absolutely decide it, start talking about it. Just like I told my best friend at the time, Kath Morris, I won't be here for long. I'm only here for a short while. I'll be leaving and I won't ever come back to this area ever again. And when we moved to Townsville, there was such resonance. And years later, when I had a look at that dream board, I actually pulled off that photo because I was like, oh my God, this looks like Townsville. It wasn't Townsville, but it was Cairns. But how close is that? I didn't know where we would be moving. My husband could have been posted anywhere in Australia, you know, and we got posted somewhere that very much is a similar location to that which was on the dream board. And I felt such a connection here, such a soul connection. In 2017, my family of 5 and we moved back to country Victoria that year. And, you know, it was one of the hardest years of our lives. And we moved back to get family support. My husband took a year's paid leave out of the army. And I went back to work full time. And that was the year where I felt the furthest away from my calling than ever. You know, that was the year that we were living off $1,000 a week and $485 a week was rent. That was the year that we went back home to get support from my family because our family was falling apart, and we went back to get support from our family of origin, and all of those relationships fell apart because there was no support there whatsoever. We were supporting them and we were, you know, going through all of our own traumas. And, you know, that was the year that I decided that we would get back to Townsville as soon as heavenly possible. And so by August, we were already arranging things to come back. And in December, we sold our caravan that we loved, and we drove back to Townsville. And I remember seeing the mountains, and I'd been away from Townsville for a whole year. And I remember seeing the mountains, and I remember leaning over in the car and I just cried because I was home and I was so relieved to be home. And so what I learned was that I get to live somewhere that I love, right? And guess what? You all do as well. We are a human being, and if our desire is to live somewhere that we absolutely love, guess what? We get to experience that. If we desire to work and build a business or have a career that we absolutely love, guess what? We get to live and breathe that because we're human beings, you know? And I don't think that's too much to ask, to live in a place that we love, to have work that we absolutely love, that is soul aligned, that is for the higher good, to be paid handsomely for what it is that we do, to live in wealth, prosperity, and abundance. And that is our goddamn given birthright. That is what we actually were originally coded with. That is our heritage. And it's up to us to come back to that so that we can help awaken all the other souls here on earth that have forgotten, that are in a slumber, that have fallen asleep, because we came here with our mission clear, where their contracts were signed, and we came here as part of the new earth, right? The new earth is here. I always thought, where's this new earth? We got to work towards it and create it. Nah, it's already here. We are the new earth. Every one of you that is a light worker, a star seed, a member of the family of light, whatever it is that you reside with calling yourself, but one of the chosen ones, because all of you that are joining this masterclass series, you're all the chosen ones. You're all empaths. You're all earth angels. You're all highly sensitive, intuitive beings. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. You just, this whole thing wouldn't resonate with you. I wouldn't resonate with you. And so you're all the chosen ones. And so you're all here on mission. You're all here on purpose. And that is your proof that what it is that you want to do, if you lean into it and you go all in and you take that risk, and it is risk, and it does, well, it's perceived risk. It's perceived risk, because when you're following your soul, there is no risk. There is no risk when you're following your soul, because soul is wealth. Soul is prosperity. Soul is abundance. Soul is the light of all light. Soul is holiness. Soul is goodness. So there's perceived risk, leaning into soul, it feels risky because it's not how we've been programmed. We've been programmed into the certainty and the safety of our 9 to 5 and making sure that we know everything before we jump in and having to logically figure it all out and staying where it's safe. And so it feels risky to really lean into soul. It really does. I get it. I've really been resisting the risk for the last 20 years. And guess what? When I lent fully in, look what happened. When I absolutely went, well, okay, what's the worst that can happen? I invested in my first team of coaches, and I'd done already 20 years of personal development, already invested thousands of dollars, but just over 2 years ago, it was the biggest chunk sum of money that I'd invested. It was $12,000, and I didn't have $12,000. I didn't have a skerrick of $12,000. I didn't even have 2K. So I went on a payment plan. I was like, all right, I'm going to pay $500 a week off this. And, you know, if things get rough, we'll just have to eat baked beans. But I rolled my sleeve up, you know. I backed myself and I took a risk because I was like, shit, if nothing changes, nothing changes. If I keep doing the same thing, I'm going to keep getting the same results. And I'm 44 this year, and I was 40 something that back then. And I was like, I got a lot of work to do on myself, and I need to hurry up, and I don't know what I don't know. And I need to learn off the people that know so that they can just teach me how to do it and so that I can do it. And it was frigging scary. And you've heard the story about how I did $100,000 in less than 3 months, and I was crying on my shed floor, right? I put my neck out so badly that I had to go to the chiropractor 3 times in 1 week. My husband had to drive me. I couldn't drive that week. I had to run all of my sessions with the heat pack on my neck, and I was like in pain. I was so sore because so much fear came up because I didn't feel worthy. I was having more success than what I'd ever had because I went all in. I took the risk, and I said to myself, well, what's the worst thing that can happen? Death. Okay. Death is the worst thing that can happen. All right. And so let's say that I invest $12,000 with these team of coaches, and it's a slow burn, and you know, and I don't, you know, potentially, you know, get all of the results that I signed up for. What's the worst thing that can happen? Oh, well, it just means that I failed a little bit, but I can never fail because I knew that I just wouldn't, because I would never fail at signing up with a team who already had what it is that I knew that I needed, and it was so soul aligned, and I'd been following those people for 12 months, and every part of my soul said, Jessica Quigley, when in the heck are you going to get moving and grooving and sign up with these team of coaches? They've got the goods. They've got what you don't know. You also need the support. You can't do this alone. For Christ's sake, take the risk, go all in. You were coded for this. You've been working towards this for all of your life. Just do it. The worst thing that can happen is that you will die. And guess what, honey? You are going to die. And death is imminent, and it is going to happen. So we don't want to tiptoe to the grave. Remember what I shared yesterday. We don't want to die full of regret. We want to make sure that we have lived this life fully, and it is going to take risk. But when you step into risk, there's a void. There is a void. So when you're in safety, the universe is going to be like, all right, well, you're still in safety. So I can give you a little bit, but can't take you all the way because, you know, you're clinging on to what you know, you're clinging on to safety, and you're still in the old program. You're still in the old matrix. So the universe will work with us a little bit. But when we really step away and we're like, all right, okay, I am going into massive amounts of risk and I trust. There's a void that comes in. There's a universal void. Okay? And it cradles us because we've gone all in. There's no safety net anymore. Every day I drive past the hospital when I left, and every day I was like, I'm never going back. Every day I would talk to that hospital as I drove past it to drop to the kids to the school. I said, never going back, never going back, never going back. Thank you. F you, never, ever going back. And it was as scary as hell. And then other times I'll be like, shit, What if all my clients stop working with me? What if I'm just a one-hit wonder? What if all of this is bullshit and I have to go back to the hospital? Driving past the hospital, F you, never going back. And then at other times, oh my God, can I really do this? Am I really worthy enough? Am I actually one of the chosen ones that I feel in every cell of my body? I'm not sure. That could all be BS as well. Am I just, a crazy person that has these ridiculous ideas? Should I just go back to what I know? This is what went on. But I stayed in trust, and the void caught me. And the void will continue to catch me because guess what? I go all in. And so I want you all to know about this void and know that while you're anchored into safety and while you're playing safe, the universe can only help you so much. It's really about letting all of that safety and comfort go and really going all in. Holy heck, we have 8 viewers in our Facebook group, and it was just like literally an introduction there, and it was just a soul ramble and such a big download. Shauna, hello, good morning, my love. Eileen Keenan is in the house. Hello, gorgeous. We have 8 members joining live in Facebook. For everyone else that's joining live, please say hello and type in, type in hello, not hashtag replay. You're joining us live. My goodness. Alrighty. Lisa Horn. Wow. I spent a few years living in Rushworth near Shepparton. Yes. Yes. I grew up in country Victoria, Numurkah, and then moved down to Shepparton with my family when I was 18. Dina, I went fully in moving from NY to Mount Shasta, CA, after a spiritual retreat there. Broke my ankle 2 months before, lost work, yet fundraisers for our family came in and we got to move. Yep, miracles happen every single day. Miracles are a natural occurrence when you're working with the laws of spirit, with the laws of the universe, with the laws of God. All right, so let's get into it. I have got a few little things marked and I wanted to read them to you all just to really get started. And then I've got some questions that I want to ask you all in the chat. So what I wanted to read to you all is, first of all, what we need to realize above all else is that God has provided for the most minute needs of our daily life, and that if we lack anything, it is because we have not used our mind in making the right contact with the super mind and the cosmic ray that automatically flows from it. So these are really keys to wealth, prosperity, and abundance. Highlighted here, we've not used our mind in the making the right contact with the super mind. And this is very much a big part of the work that I do. In my highest program, in my VIP, where I have one-on-one sessions available with me, and we only have 5 spaces a year. 1 space is becoming available in April. This is where I take women into becoming a superhuman. We connect our clients with your spiritual team, with the head of your CEO, so that you actually are building those neurological pathways so that you're just connected all the time. And that's when you get to become a superhuman. Multiple 7 and 8 and 9 figure business earners, they've got that connection, that neurological connection is built. And that's how they become multi-7 and multi-9 figure business earners, because they're a superhuman. They're fully connected to their spiritual team. That neurological pathway is built. And so the one-on-one work that I do with women as a part of the high-end business mastermind is actually coming into ceremony and connecting my clients with the CEO, with the head CEO of their spiritual team, so that you're never, ever, ever making any decisions or doing anything alone, because we've got to be in connection. We've got to be checking in with our spiritual team. Should I do this? Do I do that? Do I wait? Do I act now? What do I do? And that's where we get to become a superhuman. So this is absolute key. It's a key part of it. It also says here, prosperity is the outpicturing of substance in our affairs. Everything in the universe is for us. Nothing is against us. Life is ever giving of itself. We must receive, utilize, and extend the gift. Success and prosperity are spiritual attributes belonging to all people, but not necessarily used by all people. Success and prosperity are spiritual attributes. Keys there, golden keys. And the last one is God is the giver and the gift. Man is the receiver. So God helps us with the how. We don't need to figure that out. We need to decide, back ourselves, and make it an absolute must. It's just like, I'm going there. Doesn't look like that I can make it, but F it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it anyway. Doesn't matter what Auntie Betty says about how nuts she thinks I am. I'm going there. I've decided it. I'm claiming it. And it says here, God dwells in man. And this means that the treasure house of infinite riches is within you and all around you. By learning the laws of mind, you can extract from that infinite storehouse within everything you need in order to live life gloriously, joyously, and abundantly. So they've all got the same kind of message, right? It's all the same vibration. You know, it really is about connecting to all that is. It's like what I talked about. You're the wealth of the universe, individualized, and the only limitations that you have are the ones that have placed upon yourself. Money doesn't come because you ask for it. It comes because it's yours. It's in your force field, but it's got to be activated. You've got to be spiritually living. You've got to be spiritually breathing, you know, and you've got to loosen up about money as well. If you want to receive money, you've got to get loose about it. If you're like, oh, it's not going to come in. It just isn't. You've really got to lighten up about the whole money thing. It comes in, it goes out. We're going to be dead. You're going to die. You're going to be buried in the earth. Money is energy. You breathe it in, you breathe it out. You've got to loosen up. You've got to heal your relationship with money. If you're rigid with money, you won't attract it. You won't manifest it. When you go to the supermarket, start buying the largest packets of the toilet paper. When you fill your car up with petrol, start filling it up. Have a full car, non-negotiable. That's what we started doing. We used to buy the 4 rolls, and then we were like, F no, we're abundant. It's not here yet, but shit, 12 freaking rolls. We're always out of bloody toilet paper, right? So we started doing those things. Now I didn't go out and invest, over $100,000 in my business to start with. No, but I invested the $12,000 in the very beginning. No, I didn't have the money. Yes, it was a huge stretch. So we want to do the things that we can do, the dunny rolls, filling up the petrol with the car so that we don't want to be driving around like, oh shit, it's getting low. Let's drive around and let's nurture our nervous systems where we're at, right? What we have access to. And for those of you that have a vehicle, you have a vehicle. I want to say it again. You have a vehicle. Start using that vehicle. You actually have the vehicle. Quick story about how I very powerfully used my vehicle just over 2.5-3 years ago. Got to get this magnesium into me. So quick story, and then we're going to get on to money strategy. I love this story. It's one of my favorites. So Noah and Poppy were going to a state school. Some of you have heard this story before. Noah and Poppy were going to a state school and they hated it. Noah was crying until 9 o'clock most nights because of all the things that were going on in the school. And Poppy wouldn't get out of the car in the mornings. And it was a frigging nightmare. We had kids that hated school. They were very upset. Their nervous systems were all over the place. And it was a fight and a battle to get them to go to school. And I was stressed out of my brain. And I said to my husband, I'm not going to be able to grow my business like this. It's just not possible. Like, I'm so stressed out. I'm in the wrong energy. And it's devastating to see the kids like this. And I really feel for them, but I don't know what to do about it. Right. So we tried to do a lot with the school and it just wasn't working. The school was the wrong entity for the kids. I knew that intuitively. I'm like, oh my God, the school is just not a match. I hated school myself. I remember in prep, I remember just subconsciously, I actually had access to this thought about a year ago. I remember in prep, I remember in the first days that I went to school, I remember shutting a huge part of myself down because I remember counting the years of school that I'd have to go through. And I remember just shutting a part of myself down because it was like, are you serious? 13 frigging years of this? I'm just going to sleep through most of it. I literally remember making that decision. I remember shutting a part of myself off because it just felt so horrendous to have to go through 13 years of getting up every day and doing that. That just wasn't aligned with my soul. And so it was so devastating for me to see the kids going through that. But I also realized that it was a big blocker for the family and my business and being able to receive, and being able to impact and change lives. So I said to my husband in the September, we got to get the kids out of that school. Non-negotiable. We can't continue on like this. That we're going to have to get them into a private school. Hopefully a private school will be better and they may be more nourishing in terms of the kids' emotions because the kids really needed more emotional support. They needed more sensitivity for their sensitive, refined souls and their sensitive, highly attuned natures, right? Most of us that are awakened, we have sensitive children. It hasn't happened by accident. They've been sent to us, on purpose because they chose us, right? They knew that we were going to be able to help figure, out the support tools that they would need in order to be able to bring their gifts to the world and navigate their journeys and their missions in the world. Hello, Kate Evans on Facebook. Welcome. Kay McClin. Hello. You ordered the book yesterday. Amazing. Hello, Natasha Harrison. So good to have you here. So the story is, in the September, I made the decision that I was taking the kids out of school. And so we decided that it would have to be a private school. And so I went away and did some, research and really had a look at how much it was going to cost to have 3 kids in private schools. And I realized that it was going to be about $25,000 a year to have 3 kids in private schools. And so I came back to my husband and I said, it's $25,000 to have 3 kids in private schools. That's per year. And so I was like, we can't do it. We'll just have to suffer on. We're just like, we can't do that. My husband's working in defense. I'm working as a nurse. Like, are you kidding me? $25,000 a year just for the schools. We can't do it. It's a no. It's a no. Anyway, we went on 3 months later of hell, tears, tantrums, and meltdowns. By that stage, I'd absolutely had it. I didn't care. I did not care about the money anymore. I just wanted the problem solved. So I said to my husband, I don't give a shit. I don't care. We'll just have to figure it out. We will just have to figure it out. And I trust, and we will figure this out. The kids are coming out of that school and it's going to happen and it's all going to work out. And I'm shitting myself, but I've decided this. And I've got the vehicle. And the vehicle, hadn't made much money at that stage. And so I decided, all right, well, actually my vehicle is going to provide the in full and upfront payment for the 2 kids. And what actually happened was I decided, and then the universe rearranged itself. Because that's what happens when we're just like, oh, just do this. The universe will just bring us that trajectory that we're going down. But when we make decisions, we open ourselves up to a whole lot of stuff. And so the universe showed us that there was a Steiner school in Townsville. We didn't even know about it. It like that week that I decided, someone was telling me about this amazing school that had forestry schooling and the kids could take they didn't have to wear shoes and there's a dog there. the therapy dog, and they do all these amazing things, and it supports their emotions. And I rang that school straight away, and they offered Noah and Poppy a week's trial, but they said we definitely couldn't get Noah in for a place until later next year. And I just decided that they would. I said, okay, cool, no worries. Thank you so much. We look forward to the week's trial. I decided Noah is getting in. He'll start in January. Both kids, if they have an amazing week this week, will be in. And so that's what happened. They went there, they had an amazing week, and the school let me know that they would have Noah and Poppy and they would get started in January. And I was like, of course, because I made the decision. And so, all right. And so actually for the two of them that year to go to the school, it was $8,000. They got a discount because it was two of them. And we also got a discount because I wanted to pay in full and upfront, right? I'd made that decision. So this is kind of a long-winded story, but it's a very powerful story because I want to show you here how powerful we are. Hello, Lucy Arnold. Good morning, gorgeous. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And so I made the decision that in February, I was going to pay the $8,000 in full and upfront for both my children to go to that Steiner school. Now, in the December, okay, so they had their trial, let's say in the November, or it was the October, and in the December, I did $300 in sales in the December for my business. This is like 3 or 4 years ago. In the December, for the month of December, I did $300 in sales, right? But I made the decision that come February, I was going to have $8,000, not only in sales, but I was going to have $8,000 cash in hand to give to that school. And the keys here are my desire for my kids to go to that school. Where do you all think that desire was? Type it in the comments on a scale of 1 to 10. My desire for the kids to go to that school, where do you all think that desire was on a scale of 1 to 10? Put it in the chat. 10 says Lisa Horn. Yes. Dina, 15. Tora, 20. 10, Tracy. Yes. Yeah. 10 says Lucy. Yeah, like it was off the charts, right? You know, it was like off the absolute charts. And so it's a little bit similar to the story about the Gold Coast holiday that I said that I so yearned to take my family on a Gold Coast holiday, and I knew that I needed to manifest $10,000 for it, and it came through 2 weeks later. My new client, Kim, literally handed it to me and said, here's your Gold Coast holiday, my love. And I said, thank you. And so my desire for that was off the charts. 10 says Eileen. Exactly. So of course, when February came, of course I had the money for it. Even though in December I did $300 in sales. Did that waver me from what I decided? Nah. Not one little bit, because I decided. I'd made that decision. Come hell or high water, boom. I'm manifesting 8K and I'm at 100 of my why. So my energy field around that, it's got it. It's got it because it's so powerful. And so this is what we got to have activated inside of us. If you want to manifest $100,000 in your business, it's got to be for something frigging compelling and exciting. You've got to have that energy activated and that attraction force. If you're like, oh, that'd be nice, be good, it's not going to come through. It just isn't. You've got to be really fired up, like what we've talked about. You've got to have a compelling future. You've got to be like really lit up. It's got to be like a why. It's got to be linked in with your mission. It's got to have you frothing at the mouth. You've got to be like, oh my God, I'm so turned on by this. And it is an absolute done deal. It doesn't mean that you'll be completely free of doubt. Doesn't mean that you won't have fear and be crying on the, shed of your concrete floor in moments, but you've decided, you've committed. You're not going to wait and see how it goes. Oh, I'll see what shows up. That's not going to work. We don't wait and see. We decide. We are the decision makers. We are the creators. We are the manager of all things. I really want you to see today just how powerful you all are. We get the opportunity to work with the creative clay, and we do it through our thoughts. We do it through our thinking, and we do it through our connection to God and all that is. And we do it through gratitude and through the embodiment of our mission and what we've come here on earth to do. So I love sharing that story about the $8,000 because, again, there was no physical evidence that I could actually do that. Zero. $300 in sales in December. Of course I had it. Of course. Of course. So I share these stories with you all because I'm a human being. You're a human being. There's no difference. You've just got to take all of these things away and apply them and embody them and really go where it's scary. Really get out of your comfort zone. Big amounts of money with ease are for you. They absolutely are. And it really takes getting out of our comfort zones. All righty, where are we? Let's get into it. Okay, it is time to ask a question. And then we are going to get into a strategy. With the strategies, you may want to write them down because I am going to be, sharing them, and there's quite a few key pieces to them and parts. Our replays are available until April the 7th when our $3,000 Spiritual Alchemy package winner is announced, and my team will be taking down our videos. So for those of you that are catching up on replay, you've got until the 7th and then it'll all be taken down. So with the money strategy, you may want to come back and re-watch it so that you can really take down those notes of what I'm going to teach. But first of all, in the chat, I would love to know. I'd love for you all to answer this question. I'm going to have a big drink of water while you do. I'd love to know in the chat here in the Zoom room and on Facebook, what would trust look like right now for you? If you went all in on trust, what would it look like right now for you? In the comments, please, my loves. Oh, Lucy's got live. I know. Hey, Luce. I'm like here live, and I was going to tell everyone that's joining on Facebook to type in hashtag replay. All right, Dina. What would trust look like right now? Dina's answer is scary, yet I know in my heart it would support me and my desires will manifest. The how isn't up to me. Perfect. Beautiful, Dina. Tracy, it would be scary, but also exciting because this is something that I need to do. Trust in myself and the universe. Exactly. I love it. Tora, trust would look like feeling shit scared, keep breathing and doing it anyway. Exactly. Exactly. And calling on courage, every single day. Every single day. I mean, for me, that monkey brain, every single time I step into that new place of trust, is it going to work out? Really? Is this, is this $150,000 investment in your business? Is it, is it going to work out? Is it the right people? soul is like, hello, we've got you. Let go of that. It's okay. Go and take yourself on a massage. Keep taking massive amounts of action, but just show up in fem flow, show up doing all the things that you're doing. Yeah, I love these answers. Knowing that I'm safe no matter what comes up. Beautiful, Tora. Yes, exactly. Lisa, I have trust in the past and succeeded. Beautiful. I am now tapping back into it now. Boom. No more questioning myself. Get out of my head. Boom. Stop listening to everyone else. Amazing. Have a home where I can work from and have my diary booked out with clients, and have reached 3 more rank levels in my MLM business. Mornings off to walk on the beach are frigging amazing. Lock it in. Absolutely lock it in. Done deal. Lucy says, very freeing, exciting, and a deep-seated belief that it's meant to be. Yep, absolutely. Eileen, more time. Yeah, yep, beautiful. That is high at the top of your values, which is amazing. And you know, we all value time, right? All righty, so let's get into the strategy. All righty. Okay, so what have we got here? There's so many strategies to choose from. I'm going to teach you all the one where I did $22,000 in sales in one evening. So how did I do that? I'm going to teach you exactly how I did it. So this obviously doesn't apply for someone that's in multi-level marketing. You know, you've got a different commission base with that. And we know that you don't receive, you know, directly the sales. You get, you know, percentage of the products that you sell and the percentage of, you know, what your team does. But, you know, you can still apply these strategies, are very powerful to build relationships and to serve people at the highest level. And really, business building it's relationship building. That you know, that really is what it is all about. So this strategy works really well if you're a coach and a healer, but it also works well for someone that is in a network marketing business as well, because it's building relationships. So what I did 2 years ago was, okay, so I had my program Soul Circle, and I think I shared with you all, or no, maybe that was in our high-end mastermind. You know, creating my groups, I had to work through a lot of fears because I did the signature program, the one-on-one course, for over a decade. And so, you know, when I realized that I needed to create group coaching programs so that I could impact more people, because there's only so much time, right? I only have so much energy. And actually looking after my energy is actually at the highest of my values, because if my energy is not good, I can't help my clients in the way that I can help my clients when I'm in like the highest vibrational, connected, spiritual quantum energy. When I'm in that energy, my clients, you know, they get to come up, you know, they get to come with me on the journey. So what I figured out, you know, over the last couple of years is actually looking after my energy and my vibration and being in peak energy and vibration. That's number one. And so what I realized was that when I was doing the one-on-one work, you know, there's only so many hours in a day. And if I'm doing 7 sessions during a day and 4 of an evening, you know, I'm going to burn out, right? It's not sustainable long-term. But I didn't know how to create or even run and facilitate group programs. And so again, there was a lot of fear. It felt really risky. And to leave a line and shine that I knew so dearly and that I could sell like that I could teach that in my sleep, scary. Again, it was like comfort zone, comfort zone, comfort zone. Oh my God, I don't even know if these group programs are going to work out. I don't even know how to run them. I don't even know exactly what I'm going to share inside of them. Well, of course I know. I've been living and breathing this work all of my goddamn life. So that was just absolute BS. So what I did was I created Soul Circle, and then I'm like, all right, well, you know, I don't know anyone, you know, that I can offer for it. Got no idea. And it's a group program. So, we got to get some people inside it. That's right. I remember I had 2 people that signed up for it. And then I was like, okay, we got 2 people. It's a group program. And I did the same thing in the high-end business mastermind. I'm like, we got 2 clients in each. And I was like, 2 clients, it's a group, it's more than one group, done. And then I just went into a comfort zone for a few months. And I was like, it's a group, there's 2 in each, it's comfortable. And then a few months went past and I was like, holy shit, this is not a group, this is 2 people in each. Oh my God. We got to get moving. We need group, we need more people, we need to change more lives. And so then I was like, all right, well, how am I going to get, how will I, be able to give people access to knowing about Soul Circle, and how am I going to change more lives? So with Spirit, we came up with a plan, and with my team of coaches, we came up with a plan as well. And so what that plan was, I decided that I was going to host 2 webinars, 2 Zoom sessions, where I was going to take people on a real experience, where they were going to come into the session and they were going to close their eyes down, and I'd do this with them and I'd do that. And there was, a little bit of goal setting. And I created sessions where I gave my absolute best work, and I just made it like they were in like a real session with me, like a paid session. And so I invited people to join that. There was 2 sessions. It was a 2-part series. And it was done of an evening. I ran these sessions of an evening. And so what I decided to do, first of all, was like, well, how am I going to get people excited about this? I know how busy everyone, and, people get offered to join lots of things, and, they say yes, but then they've had a long week and they get to the evening and they can't be bothered, and they've said yes, but they've forgotten about it, or they've got a head cold, or all these things happen, and it's all okay. But, what when we're doing live things, we want people to be excited about joining, and we want people to join, right? If no one shows up, we don't get to change lives. So I was like, how am I going to get people to join and participate and be excited about this? Oh, well, I'm going to give a giveaway, because I love to give. We always give away huge giveaways. Every single time we run a masterclass series, we give away thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I give away full packages and programs. And I also always give away part scholarships, where we take thousands of dollars off all my coaching packages, because I absolutely love to give. I love to give, and it's exciting to have giveaways and prizes. And so what I did with this 2-part webinar was I reached out to people, and I said to people that I was friends with on Facebook and my very warm market, I reached out to all of them in Messenger, and I asked them if they'd love a chance to win a coaching package that was valued at $6,000. And so I just would reach out to them in Messenger, and I'd just say, hey, Sally, I'm not sure if this would be of interest to you or not, but I'm giving away a $6,000 coaching package. Is this something that would tickle your fancy, interest you? And that's what I would write to people in Messenger. And then Sally might message back, and she might say, oh, what's the catch? Or what does this mean? Or can I have more details about this? And so I'd message Sally back, and I'd give her more details. And the more details were, in order for a chance to win, it's a 2-part webinar titled Be Your Own Hero. And the winner is going to be announced in the second session. So you must, in order for a chance to win, you've got to participate fully in both sessions. And when I announce the winner in the second session, if you're not there, you don't win. I'll call out someone else's name. Like, I didn't word it like that, but that's sort of the chunk of it. So there was requirements, right? They couldn't not come to the thing and then be given a $6,000 coaching package. They had to come to the thing, right? And so I created this amazing thing. I titled it Be Your Own Hero. And I created it. I spent, 4 hours creating the 2-part webinar. I hired a Superwoman costume, and it was so much fun. And we had 70 women in the Zoom room, participating, 70. I shit myself when I saw the numbers. When I looked down and saw 70, like this is over 2 years ago, I froze. I'm like, is that 70 here? I nearly just lost it. I nearly like thought that I couldn't do it in that split second. And so they came and I served them at the highest level. I gave them an absolute experience. And then they came again for the second session. Now, in the second session, we were announcing the giveaway, but in the second session, I gave them an irresistible offer. So in the second session, what I did was I actually gave them an offer that they just couldn't refuse. And I gave them Soul Circle for half price. I actually offered them Soul Circle at half price. And Soul Circle back then was a 6-month experience. It's now a 12-month experience. All my programs are 12 months, except for Spiritual Alchemy. It's a 7-week module. And so I took half price off it. And I had a link for them to pay in full and upfront. And I also had a link for them to pay it per week. So I had 2 different links that I actually dropped in the chat over Zoom. So I was like, our irresistible offer is I'm taking half price off Soul Circle, and it's only available for the next 2 hours. So they had 2 hours. Half price. Link was there. Pay in full and up front. Boom. There's the link. Boom. There's the weekly payment plan link too, if you want to sign up for that. And then the very last thing that I did was I announced the winner at the last. That was the last thing that I did. Now, just going back a couple of steps, I told them in the first session that there would be an irresistible offer, and I said that I had something really exciting that I was offering to them. So I without telling them, I let them know. So when we're holding and running webinars where we are going to sell on the call, it is important that we say something about there will be an irresistible offer at the end of tomorrow night's call. Yeah, but I didn't obviously go into detail, but I gave them the heads up. Pre-framing is really important when we're selling from stage. We want to pre-frame. It helps people relax. People are not thinking, oh shit, if I'm being dragged into something here that I want to get out of, but now I'm here. Or, people want to, we pre-frame things, if we let people know what's coming, people be like, oh, okay, I feel safe here now. I don't feel like I'm going to be trapped into something icky. Yeah. So I pre-framed it without going into all the details. I let them know that there would be an irresistible offer on the second, the second session. And so we did $22,000 in sales that night, exceeded our wildest dreams. I'll never forget it. While I was on the call, the PayPal notifications were coming through. We had, I can't remember how many women it was, 10 or 12 women signed up. And some of those women are my clients now. Lindy, she signed up that night and she's done 3 trips around the sun in Soul Circle. She just signed up for a 4th trip. She went on our most recent retreat. She signed up for the next retreat. And, creating urgency, says Dina. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. This is an irresistible offer. Do you want it? Like, we want you. We want to help change your life. This is it. So there's a strategy for you. The $100,000 strategy is about you getting out online and giving value and changing people's lives regularly, monthly. That really is the key to $100,000 months in business. You've really got to showcase yourself and your work, and you've got to give people an experience with you, because sometimes people just don't know what the heck it is that we do. Sometimes we can be posting about it on our social media platforms, But people just aren't actually seeing it because, I mean, who's really seeing anything on social media? Are we really seeing anything? Or are we just kind of scrolling and seeing bits and pieces? Hands up in the Zoom room. Who's just seeing bits and pieces? I know I'm only seeing bits and pieces. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's only seeing bits and pieces. So it doesn't matter how much we're talking about what we're doing. We can't expect that everyone knows because people are only seeing bits and pieces. When people come and they do things with you live and they come to whatever it is that you're doing live, they get to know you. They will not be confused about what it is that you do. In the chat on Facebook and here in the Zoom room, is anyone confused about what it is that I do? Is anyone not sure in the Facebook group? Is anyone confused about what it is that I do? And please be honest, if you're confused, please let me know because that would be great feedback. Most of you won't be. Most of you will be pretty certain. You won't know exactly all the ins and the outs for my programs and courses, but you know, you're not confused about what it is that I do. You all know that I'm a quantum business, self-mastery and intuitive coach, and I help coaches and healers and mentors get to $100,000 months in their online businesses. And you know that I help with the frequency. You know what I do. You feel it in your souls, right? It feels aligned. So when we actually are regularly showing up and hosting online events, people get to see us. We then build a relationship with people. They get to know, like, and trust us. And that is the absolute golden key. So in the beginning, my thing that I used to do was gratitude challenges. I'd just do a gratitude challenge. Now, Gabby Bernstein, you know, she's pretty up there. She does it. She does like a gratitude challenge once a year. I think it's every January, you know, and that's what she does. And Tony Robbins, you know, he does his thing. Well, he's been doing his thing every January for the last, since, you know, the world shut down, I think the last 3 years. And he does the same thing every time, you know, he tells the same stories. It's the same thing. And so this is the strategy that the masters use. You know, they create something, they go online, they invite people to come and join, and they change lives, and they impact people, and they also become the authority. They become the leader in whatever it is that they're teaching, right? We've all got our unique gifts and special, you know, things that we offer the world. So the more that you can show up online and the more people that you can impact and get in close proximity to, the more chances you have at building a business that has the potentiality to manifest and create $100,000 months in your business. Because this is exactly the strategy that I've used every single month for the last 2.5 years. And prior to that, you know, I didn't do it monthly, but I did it like each term. I would do a gratitude challenge. And so I've showed up consistently where I give people value and people come and spend a large amount of time with me working on themselves, shifting their vibration, learning the keys and the tools to self-mastery and manifestation. And through that, I've built a multiple six-figure business, a thriving business where just in the last 14 months, I've done $435,000 in sales. If I wasn't doing my online events each month, that would not happen. That absolutely would not happen. That it is through the online virtual events that is the lead magnet that I use. And so I'm sharing that with you all because I want you all to win, but you've got to take action. And obviously I've become a master at how to create online virtual events. I've been doing these for many, many years. And this is what we teach inside our business programs. We teach all of the steps that lead up to how to actually launch the thing and how do we actually get people participating, and then how to actually sign people up into our courses, programs, or to buy our products or to join our team in what it is that we do in our network marketing company. You know, this is where it's all about. When I was with LifeVantage, you know, I think I signed on 12 or 15 distributors like that. I think I did $12,000 in just a couple of months. Everyone signed up through the relationships that I'd built, you know, and they all signed up, you know, because of the connection that I had with them. They're like, we just want to be with you. Like, if you're doing things, we know that that's going to be successful. So, you know, it was just a no-brainer for them. And that's the reason why I was being able to scale LifeVantage so quickly, because it was all my clients, you know, they all like, yes, of course, that's a no-brainer. Of course we're going to do that. It was because of the relationships. And then, you know, a few months later, I decided not to continue to build the LifeVantage business because it got really crazy. And I didn't even realize it, but I'd gone back into you know, working incredibly hard. I was actually working on Sundays. I was working 7 days a week and I didn't even realize it. I was at the pool, you know, the kids were swimming and I was like, and then it hit me. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this is all right. This is out of control now. I am now consciously aware of the fact that I am actually working 7 days a week and this is just ridiculous. And so I had to, you know, I had to choose and there was just no, it wasn't even, oh, I'm going to have to think about this. It was, I choose the coaching every frigging time, morning, noon, or night. And so now I'm very, very protective of what comes in. I love the network marketing companies. We take LifeVantage. I will never do anything else but what I'm doing in terms of building my coaching business, because this is exactly what I want to do. And I support everyone else in what they're doing. But I'm not going to have my energy then going off over here and here and here and here and here. And not saying there's anything wrong with having multiple streams of income, but when we have got a lot of baskets, we do lose a lot of energy. And when we are achieving goals, there needs to be a clear, conscious stream, and we need to have clarity, and business needs to be simple, not complicated. Because if it's all complicated up here, the subconscious mind is confused as well. So we've got to have that clear connected consciousness in terms of clarity. This is it. This is what I'm doing and I'm going after it. So my loves, oh my goodness, we have come to the end of our session, and look, I've still got all of these things that I wanted to share, and it's all okay because I trust that the messages that came out were the most powerful messages that you all needed to hear today. For everyone that's catching up on replay, I can say it now, please type in #replay. There is an inner work task in closing, and it's to create your new money map. Your new map, which is going to consist of your new beliefs, your new values, the new you know, and all aspects of you. So your new money map, what are the new beliefs that you have? What do you now tell yourself now that you've, you know, worked through all of the shit and we went through why you're not receiving? What's your new money map? What are some of those beliefs? How does it look? How do you feel? How do you hold yourself? How do you carry yourself? How much money are you making in your new money map? What are you living? What are you breathing? How are you looking after yourself? Include all of those things. Our container is still open until the end of next week. So like I said before, our giveaway, the $3,000 Spiritual Alchemy Package giveaway, the winner will be announced next Friday. And all of our replays are available until next Friday, the 7th. They will be taken down after the 7th. And so our group also will be closed down after the 7th as well. If you haven't booked in a call with me and you can't find the goddamn link, just reach out, just send me a DM and say, call link, please, Jess. We still have one part scholarship that's valued at $15,000 available. If you want to find out more information about that, please reach out and book a call with me. In order for a chance to win our $3,000 giveaway, you also must jump on a complimentary potency call. Dee has actually just put the link in the chat right now. Thank you so much, Dee. Thank you so much for everyone that has joined us. It has been absolutely incredible. I love being here. I absolutely love all of you. I'm talking to many of you on Friday. I'm fully booked with calls on Friday. So I can't wait to learn more about you and, get to find out how I may be able to give you some tremendous value on all of those one-on-one calls. So thanks for being here live in the Zoom room, ladies. I've got a coaching session right now, so I'm going to have a toilet break, get my shit together. Thanks for being here. I love you all. Thanks, Dina.
Yes, love you. Bye,
Love
ladies.
you so much, darling. Bye, everyone. Bye.